This is She TV. She cry, she shine, she cry, she shine, she cry. This is She TV. She cry, she shine, she cry, she shine, she cry. This is She TV. Grind City, baby. Spit from the soul. It's the only way I know. It can go either way, y'all. Depends on what we push every day, y'all. We either spit and love or hate what we saying. They either gonna love or hate what we saying. Listen, it can go either way, y'all. Depends on what we push every day, y'all. We either spit and love or hate what we saying. They either gonna love or hate what we saying. Keep it real. Check it, they die quicker on the streets or by hands of police than in jail. But they say in jail is where the real killers dwell. They call themselves savages on these streets, and they live like savages caged, accepting the conditions of defeat. Can't even bend to wash their feet, but on the streets they wash their feet to eat blood money. Ain't that funny? Some say in jail they feel free, while on the streets they feel trapped. So they trap and stay with straps and dance with tricks. I mean snaps who are trapped, mentally unable to bring it back. Unstable are the mothers of the babies whose fathers turned their back. Frustrated are the fathers of the babies whose mamas turned to crack. While we slay the sons who push heroines through our daughters' sacks. Proactive scholars reform to a system that does not have their back. While the rap is teaching them how to act. Which way can the babies turn? And see, at everyone they are getting burned. So they burn with no desire to earn but to take. The message that we spit must be powerful and never fake. It can go either way, y'all. Depends on what we push every day, y'all. We either spit and love or hate what we saying. They either gonna love or hate what we saying. It can go either way, y'all. Depends on what we push every day, y'all. We either spit and love or hate what we saying. They either gonna love or hate what we saying. It can go either way, y'all. Depends on what we push every day, y'all. We either spit and love or hate what we saying. They either gonna love or hate what we saying. It can go either way, y'all. Depends on what we push every day, y'all. We either spit and love or hate what we saying. They either gonna love or hate what we saying. Keep it real. Check it. Grind City, baby. Some kind of square. There we go. We got by. What's good, my good people? It's your sister in the button pusher, aka K-Base, sweating like I'm in horns up in Grind City. Oh, this looks kind of weird to you, huh? Yeah, y'all used to She TV and the music videos. We got something different for you today. Today's a little bit more serious. We have Pittsburgh mothers in the building, and we're going to have a conversation about what we really talk to our babies about. So you guys, do me one quick favor. Stay tuned, because we got a show banger for you. This is Grind City Media Presents She TV. We'll be right back with our panel, y'all. This is She TV. She cry, she shine, she cry, she shine, she cry. This is She TV. This is She TV. She cry, she shine, she cry, she shine, she cry. This is She TV. This is She TV. She cry, she shine, she cry, she shine, she cry. This is She TV. Trying to get it on Facebook. We are live right now, yo, because that caught us off guard. So everybody introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Carlisa Turner. I am a licensed insurance representative with the state of Pennsylvania and Florida. I do products that get you paid, so if you're interested in some supplementary insurance benefits, get in touch with me.
I'm Kayla Shawn. Hi, everybody. Facebook people. I'm a multiple entrepreneur. I'm also a teacher by day, and a single mom of 4 girls ranging from ages 17 to 8 years old. Yes, everybody says ooh when they say that.
Hi everybody, my name is Troy Simpson. I'm an event planner. I have 2 sons who are 33 and 13. And I'm glad to be here.
Hello, I'm Angel Randolph. I am a mother of 4. I have 3 children, 20, 12, and 8, and my stepdaughter 16. Again, myself, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business restaurant by the name of Back to the Future. It's at 378 Broadway Boulevard, Pittsburgh, PA 15140. Also have clothing line called Foreign Empire Foreign. You can check out the website and our pages on Facebook and Instagram. Then also we have Futuristic Catering. Again, that's on Facebook as well. And then Angelic Events and Catering. So a lot of hats that I fulfill. So happy to be here.
Alrighty, so we're just gonna get into it, I guess. Today we are talking about what are we talking to our children about. And as we said, we're all mothers up here, so we just go on get this stuff started. So one of the things that you guys presented, that you guys talk to your children about, is entrepreneurship and credit. What do you teach your kids about entrepreneurship and credit?
For them, that it's better for them to work for themselves and get their own money and build themselves up rather than put all of their time and effort into someone else and make someone else rich. Mm-hmm. If you can put 8 hours into somebody else and they pay you what they want to pay you, why not put that same 8 hours into yourself and you make the money that you want to be, that you need in your pocket. Mm-hmm. So I teach them things that are maybe small to you, someone else may be interested in that product. If you like drawing, well, somebody else might like your drawings, they want to buy your drawing. If you like being outside all day, you're like, hey, I'm outside, let me cut someone's grass. Well, you can develop your own business by doing little things that could possibly be beneficial, or be not beneficial, but enjoyable to you. Mm-hmm. So I teach them, like, don't say you can't do something. Don't say that no one will want to buy this, no one wants to. You never know. You have to sometimes step your foot out there and take a chance and go do things for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, my son wants to be a basketball player, and entrepreneurship basically for me is like very important, because I want him to learn to be his own person and his own brand and not to be a follower. Mm-hmm. Being an entrepreneur will allow you to have all the things that you want and get what you want on your own without relying on someone else to get them for you. It takes dedication, and it takes some time, and it takes some patience, and all of those things will be beneficial going forward as he becomes an adult.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Basically, piggybacking off what she said, is I'm basically teaching your child to take the things that they dream and also building something adjacent to that, so that, yeah, you want to be that basketball player? Great. Mm-hmm. Let's do basketball. But if basketball by some chance doesn't work, then what?
Correct.
What's plan B? C, D, E, F, G.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So build it for you, because there's going to come a time where you're going to have to step your foot in that job pond maybe, and you have to work for someone else. That's going to suck, because no one really likes being told what to do. Mm-hmm. So what better way than not having to deal with being told what to do than building something for yourself? All my kids want to do something different. One wants to be a chef. Two want to be doctors. One wants to make anime films. One wants to be the greatest athlete that ever lived. Wonderful. Do all of those things, but build it all on your own merit so that it benefits you.
Mm-hmm. So, as a teacher, right, what I encounter a lot in the classroom, and I teach 17 6-year-olds. Now, I've jumped around. I've been a kindergarten teacher, second grade teacher. I might go to third grade. We're not sure yet. But what I'm seeing is a lot of kids have a problem with authority, but they want to be that basketball player, that football player, that, you know, mega star. They don't talk about entrepreneurship. So if we start talking to them about entrepreneurship and teaching them about credit, because I teach my girls about credit. That's just something that we have to have in our home. Like, you know, you need to know about credit, how to work it, how to keep it good, and what it can do for you. But teaching children that are not mine, and it doesn't have to just be your teacher. It could be, I know we're all entrepreneurs, you could teach your kids' friends. What would you say to your kids' friends who, like, you know, oh, I just want to be a basketball player? How would you encourage them to step into entrepreneurship? Because to me, entrepreneurship is the answer. Like, I'm all for entrepreneurship, having your own, making your own, building your own.
Right. My son and I always talk about LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I use that as a perfect example of an entrepreneur and a basketball player together. When LeBron came out, you know, he had his own team. He didn't go out and recruit all the people that they thought that he should have. And that went from his marketing person, his agent, his lawyer, just everything. He used his inner circle, and they helped build him up. And my son has a group of friends that are exactly the same way. So I'm always constantly talking to them and using their group as an example of what can be done if you use your skills and use everything that you have around you to build up what all of you want to do so that everybody can eat.
Right.
You know, you don't always have to go outside. You don't always have to listen to people tell you what you should do. Utilize what you already have in your circle and see if you can build from there.
Exactly.
Same thing for
Yeah,
you?
yeah, exactly.
She nailed it right on the
Give me
head.
some.
Hey.
She did,
And speaking of, okay, so let's go to the next topic, piggybacking on that, being the best example, because one of the biggest things I see in the classroom, and sometimes even in my house, is bullying. What are the telltale signs of bullying? How do you know if your child's being bullied? How do you know if your child is bullying someone? And how do you counteract that? Like, as a parent, because as a teacher, we have our ideas of, you know, how we deal with a child in the classroom that is being bullied or bullying, you know, doing the bullying. As a parent, what would you say to your child's teacher if you found out your child was being bullied or bullying someone?
So, where we live at, in the school district that my children go to, I know that we're considered a minority, but really in their school district, they really are a minority.
Gateway.
I need you to stay out of my business.
My girl students at Gateway High School, so I'm
Okay.
there with you.
Okay.
I'm there.
In our household, we have open conversations. As a mother, you know your child. There's no ifs and so my children, my oldest son, he's very inward, he's very to himself. He's quiet. He has 1,000 things going on in his head, but he's quiet, he's to himself. If you came to me and said, RJ was outside MF in the world. No, he wasn't. That's not him. You might have told him to do something, he rolled his eyes and shook his body. That's him. So you know your child. So I know that when my child comes to, at one point in time, he was bullied, and he come home and he goes straight to his room and no conversation with no one, he wouldn't do it. We had to have that conversation. I'm blessed that in our house, we do have that open conversation. And if you don't want to open up, I'm happy that he does have a father there that says, hey boy, what's on your mind? Tell me you're going to be on punishment for a week. And then he spills his guts. But in his school district, he was getting bullied. He told me about it. It was things like, one of the kids said, well, I don't like you because you don't like Donald Trump, or Donald Trump told me not to like you. They threw mashed potatoes in my baby's hair, spit on him, tried to spit on him, and I went to his teacher, and his teacher, she pretty much separated them. Like, it was 3 other boys, pretty much separated them, but not a lot was done. Then I went to the principal and escalated to the principal. And instead of the principal disciplining those students that were doing, he made a loudspeaker announcement like, hey, you know it's not nice to throw mashed potatoes and it's not nice to spit. All right, recess is at 3. I was outraged, so I just kept moving up the ladder. Eventually, it got results, but it was a pain that I shouldn't have had to do all of that.
Right.
So my thing with as far as bullying, you have to make sure you have that open communication with your kids. Know your kids' signs. Know that if they come in, they leave one shoe here and a sock over there, all right, he had a good day. But if that child comes in and goes straight to the room and doesn't say anything, shuts down, or you know something's going on, just make sure that you're there with your kid. Have that open communication so you can tell that your child is being bullied.
Well, I want to, before you guys answer, I want to play devil's advocate a little bit, because you said something that kind of hit a trigger. And I have multiple students that, you know, I've encountered where they are being the bully and their parents refuse to believe it. So what happens at that point? Like, as a teacher, you know, I'm now put in a position like, okay, I have to really talk to this parent now, because I have seen your child doing this, X, Y, and Z. But because his demeanor is so different at home, and you know your kid a certain way, you're not seeing them at school when they're not around you. And my question to the moms, like, how would you feel, first of all, if that was presented to you, and what would a teacher, or how would you want that handled?
So going back with my kids, so I have an older daughter that's 20 now, and at one point in time, she was the bully.
Okay.
She went through the stage where she was the ugly duckling. We moved to a new school district, and she went through her metamorphosis stage. Yes, and she got beautiful, and she was, what's that girl's name? Lindsay Lohan, or whatever her name is, Mean Girls. That was my daughter, and it really took they called me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't think Kayla would do anything like that. I don't think. When that teacher gave me, okay, on this date, Kayla did A, B, and C. On this date, she did A, B, and C. And as I'm getting these, and I go and say something to my daughter, and she breaks down because she knows that, damn, I really got in trouble because they gave points and time, and she started crying, her eyes balled up and whatnot. So I think for me, when my daughter was the bully, I think the fact that when I got those points and said, hey, on December 1st, that's December 2nd, when you get those points done, like facts done to you, then yeah, you should be able to accept it. Then your child is the bully. But somebody just says, hey, Kayla's bullying on me. No, she's not showing up.
That's kind of a big,
I was going to say that you have to first be open to the possibility that, again, you know, we know our kids one way, but I listen to my kids when they think I'm not around.
That's another one.
See what I'm saying? Because I always turn a corner on mine and catch her.
Oh yeah.
That's another one.
Or my son, especially them older ones who think, you know, Mom, I'm up in my rooms in the attic playing that game, and you down at the bottom of the steps ear hustling. I'm like, so this is how we're talking when you think I'm not watching.
You hear everything? Everything.
Plus was a vent.
Oh,
So if about that night, if the TV is low enough, verbatim through the vent, I'm like, I'm gonna need phones, controllers, power cords. We're on a timeout. You have to be open to the fact we were different when we were away from our parents. Remember what you were like when you were a kid. My dad could have never known me to be certain things in a certain way. He would have murdered me. I would not be here to be on this panel right now if he knew me to behave in a certain way when he wasn't watching. And my dad will turn a corner. In the corner you didn't even think he knew about.
So y'all still sneak up on your kids?
Huh?
Y'all sneak up on your kids?
Oh yes.
Once they're on the phone when they're not supposed to be on the phone, you have to remember who you were as a child. And even if you were an angel, and that's the story you want to stick to, you had a friend that wasn't. But think of how that friend was.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know somebody, you had a neighbor who wasn't. You know what I mean? So you have to be open to the possibility that your child becomes a different person when they're not in your presence. Number one. Number two, you can't always be the one, my child, blah, 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 parent.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
And this is a reason why, right, and not to interrupt you, but that's the reason why too, that there's a shortage of bus drivers. right
I
now.
believe it.
Right now,
I believe
it's
it.
just what you just said. A lot of parents don't believe that when they're told that their kids are doing something that they're not supposed to do, that their kids come back and tell them a whole different story. You're ready to fight the bus driver and the teacher instead of actually addressing your
I
child
believe
Yes.
because
Yes.
you just refuse to believe that your child
And
is
I said,
actually
you're your
doing
child a
this.
disservice.
Yes.
Correct. You're doing your child a disservice. Turn the corner, pop up.
And
Take a surprise half day from
Correct.
work and turn the corner on them and find out.
that's how it was when we were younger. You never knew.
You
And
never
you
knew.
sitting there acting up in class, and that one kid is sitting there with a piece of paper. You look up and somebody, like, that's your mama. That's why you over there acting like you got
That was
to.
my dad.
We got to keep it
Like, see,
up.
my sister has scared the life out of both of my children. So my sister is 6 foot tall, and when she wants to look a mess, she knows how to look a mess, and she knows that she'll go up to the. They know that she'll go up to the school looking exactly like that, and they do not want any type because she will act a fool. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is call her on the phone and be like, "Hey, I need you to pop up at the school because of the job that I have. I can't do that." But she got all the free time that she can go up there at any given time, and she goes up there and checks them. But, you know, for me, my son goes to the neighborhood academy. And so it's an all boys middle school right now, and he was just so adamant that he didn't want to go. But I think that that has been the best thing for him because as far as bullying is concerned, his dad and I have preached that forever. And now he is the type of kid where if he even sees bullying happening, he jumps in. You know what I mean? He jumps in. He does not like bullying at all. I'm so proud of that because every time I go somewhere, I hear the good things that he's done to help other kids and the teacher. He's helped even the teacher that was getting bullied in school with other kids, and he helped the teacher get out of a situation that he was in. And without my son being there, the teacher could have gotten injured. But again, I agree. It's communication. And you have to talk, and you have to spend time and talking to your children. It's a must.
The problem is a lot of the time there's no one, you so stuck on not being a parent that your parent was. I'm not gonna be like my mom.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be like my sister.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be
But
like
those
my grandma.
sometimes
I'm not
that's
gonna
what
be
you
like
need
my
to be
auntie.
like because you turn
I
out
agree.
how you are
And
because
I agree,
you're
but there's these parents out here, well, I don't like the way my coach talked to me, so I'm not gonna let nobody talk to my kid like that. And there becomes that defense mechanism where they feel like you're attacking their child. They're like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, what about Johnny and Jason? Well, we're talking about Timmy right now,
Right,
so
exactly.
let's focus
Exactly.
on what we can do to make your child's success in this building a little better. But no parent wants to hear that their child's a butthole. That's just the bottom line.
Absolutely.
It's coming up to school,
And I
I
don't
can't
play
wait to
that.
hear how bad you've been this week.
Don't embarrass me. Because my embarrassing is going to be 100 times worse for you than it will be for me. So my whole thing is don't ever embarrass me. And with my mom being a teacher, like he knows that I am so adamant about that. Don't do that to her. You know what I mean? Her reputation out here is being a very good and positive teacher. Don't mess that up. You know what I mean? Don't mess that up because you're out here representing me, your dad, your family. Like, just don't.
And that ties into our next topic, actually, which is self-image. What do you have to tell your children about having a good self-image? And that also ties into the social media presentation. Sorry, excuse my talking today.
Long day.
What do you teach your kids about self-image and social media presentation? Because let's face it, how you carry yourself on social media does go a long way now these days, unfortunately.
It's never coming down.
They share everything.
In person and social media, what do you talk to your kids about regarding that?
You have to love you. Like, yeah, whether you like, ooh, I got the sneakiest breath on the planet, or I'm the flyest kid out. You gotta love you.
Right.
You gotta take all your good parts, you gotta love you. So I tell them, like, you just, and I preach to the girls, some of these girls that are on here, don't talk to me while I do my makeup, and they got a bra on, and they music playing in the background, they say, oh, Kiki, JC, you're so funny. No, that's not, you're doing, what are you doing that for? Because there's no reason why you should be out here, all the twerk videos that they've got, that disgusts me. So you have to love you. You have to know that it's inside you. You have to love you, and a lot of things, like for instance, my Facebook page is Angelina Smith. My name ain't Angelina by any means necessary. At all. But I changed my name on Facebook because at one point in time I had a government job. And my name on Facebook was my name. And me and a coworker, we were talking about sending glitter bombs. Glitter bombs, when you open up this paper, glitter get all your carpet is painted like a
But the word bomb.
No, it wasn't even a word bomb, no. We were at work a couple days later, my supervisor says, I don't want to say anything wrong to you, Angel, because I don't need no glitter bombs in the office. I'm like, what? Your employer, your now employers, future employers, anything you put up there, it stays up there.
Correct? Yes.
So I changed my name so that way nobody at the job would know that some of the things, like some days I might be in a good mood and you might see me doing a lab and I'm chilling with my kids, I might be drinking or yelling at the Dallas game, saying a couple 4-letter words, but that's me. But I had to change it so people at my job would know certain things. And these children nowadays, they don't see that. Little Susie Lou up there with her bra on, shaking and dancing. You go to apply to be the president when you get older, and they like, well, remember back in 2019 when you was twerking with your bra? You can't, so.
How'd you get that?
Yeah, right.
And as a boy, I mean, as a mother of boys too, you know, for me, I'm always telling them, listen, you want to be a public figure, and just what you said, you have to watch what you put on there. And even some of the things that he even posts on Facebook, my aunt will say something, and I'll go on, because sometimes I'm working and I don't get a chance to go on and see, and then I'll call him or I'll text him like, dude, why did you put that on there? Like, take that down. But what I don't do as often as probably most parents do is I don't oversee his social media as much. And the reason why I don't do that is because me and him, I feel that me and him talk so much and about so many different things that until you violate that trust, that I can trust you, and somebody actually comes to me and tells me that you posted really something that you're not supposed to, then I'm taking it all. I'm not just taking your social media, I'm taking everything. I'm taking your phone, I'm taking your computer, I'm taking everything that you got that you can post, period. And that's going to be it. I was like, so if it's something that we need to talk about, then we're going to openly talk about it. I've never sugarcoated any kind of conversations with my children. I've always been open, no matter what it is, no matter how comfortable or uncomfortable it is. We've always managed to have that open relationship. Because to me, without that, then sometimes that leaves that door open for your kids to sneak behind your back and do certain things or whatever. So my whole thing is always with my kids about trust. If you lose that trust with me, then it's done. It ain't no talking, there ain't no negotiating, there is no none of that. If you can't tell me up front what's happening and what's going on, and I got to find out a different way, then I'm shutting it all down, period. There's nothing else left. I don't want to talk, I don't want to negotiate, there's no room for nothing. It's done, because you had every opportunity to tell me whatever it is that's going on, and that definitely is not the place to put it.
Right.
So if I have to find out on social media that you did something or you posted something, I'm shutting it down, period.
Right. I think a lot more parents need to watch their kids' social media page. Just
Correct.
going back
I
to the
mean,
bullying.
correct.
too.
Yeah, but for
Correct.
me, like I said, my kids are not allowed to have anything I can't have access to.
Mhm.
Not that I have to monitor it 24/7 or be all in your messages, but if I can't have access to it, then you can possess
Correct.
it. The end, period,
Correct.
point blank, plain and simple. They get a phone and try to change the password. What's the password? You can't go, but I'm shutting it down. I'm turning the data off this Mickey Vicky
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
We're not gonna have none of
Yes.
this, because what are you doing
Yes.
that I can't see or
Right.
know is happening? That's number one. Number two, I'm very big on affirmation. I affirm and pour into my children royalty and positivity and higher frequency on a
Yes.
daily,
And
minutely,
definitely should,
hourly,
yes.
secondly basis.
Mhm.
My 5-year-old, we have a whole hour back and forth.
Yes.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful too. You're so awesome. You're awesome too.
I love it. I
You're so
love it.
amazing.
Oh
You're
my
amazing too. You're so intelligent. We're back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
My daughter, she has some emotional things going on with her, so I try to pour into her every single day. She calls me, she's having a bad day from school. And I always tell her, stop. Right now, let's make a choice. What's our choice? What type of day do we want to have? Do we want to have a good day? Or do we want to have a bad day? Well, I want to have a good day. Okay, so let's think of something funny that makes us laugh.
Yeah.
Remember the time. Yes, and we're on the phone. And I said, now carry that feeling with you
Yeah.
for the rest of the day because energy transfers.
Yes.
She had a whole breakdown. A friend didn't want to talk to her and snapped at her. So then she snaps at the next friend. That says, so you just gave all that nasty
Yeah.
that Jane gave to you to
Chloe,
Chloe.
yeah.
And for what? Chloe was just trying to be, it just kept bouncing. So don't do that. You choose where the energy stops. You are not responsible for someone else's bad energy. If Jane is having a bad day, that's Jane's problem. Delilah's having a good day. I'm having a great day over here. So, hey, everybody that wants to have a great day.
Come with me.
Come on with me. Let's go.
We don't want it.
You know, as a mom of girls, all girls,
That's hard.
of all girls, self-image is really big in my household because I have a 17-year-old who dealt with self-esteem issues. Not only did she deal with self-esteem issues, she's sickly. She's scoliosis, and she had major back surgery when she was 13 years old. She had 2 rods and a cadaver bone put in her spine. And then she's had 2 more surgeries since then on her back. So she's always dealt with, you know, I'm not this and I'm not that and I'm not this. So I'm always like, you are beautiful. First of all, you look just like me. So you already know. No, I can't when I say that, but I tell her like, if you think I'm beautiful, then you're beautiful.
Exactly.
You can't walk around here with, you know, thinking down about yourself, but saying that you look like somebody that you say is beautiful every day.
Correct.
If you think I'm beautiful, you're beautiful because you look just like me. We look just alike. And not only that, even if you didn't look like me, you're beautiful. And me and my younger two, oh, they're good with it, honey. They go, Mom, I love you so much. You're so beautiful. You are this. Oh, Jane, you are so beautiful. You are like we pour into my second daughter a lot, especially because she's the only brown skinned one in the family. So her image, she dealt with a real low self-image so early on because as she's looking at all of us, oh, Mom, how come I'm not like you? Mom, how come I look like this? Well, first of all, because God blessed you with all the melanin He didn't give me. You got it,
Say it again.
and you are gorgeous.
Yes.
I wish I had that melanin. Can you give it back?
Right?
Right.
You know, so I'm like, you know, real big on self-image. I'm real big on it. And then we got older. Now we're on social media.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, so what you put out there, everybody sees.
Yeah.
Let's not put anything out there that we don't want nobody to call me about.
Right.
Because you know how I am and you know how our family is. And you know I know a lot of people.
A
lot of people.
You still got to go to grandma's house.
Right.
You still got to go to your other grandma.
And when my son being 13 years old, like now this is where me and him is arguing back and forth because now, you know, he's a pretty boy. So my older son is like that. He dresses real nice and jewelry and cologne and smell good. So he wants to be like my older son, and I'm glad that he has that. But he's 13, and we got always an issue where and I don't know why it's with boys, where you constantly have to keep telling them, okay, baby, did you take a shower? Like, you look good, but did you take a shower?
Brush your teeth. Wash your face.
Boys are gross.
They nasty, they stink, right? Every system.
But listen, when they're 13, 14 years old, that stench is something different. It's something different.
Yes.
And you know when it's something different.
Yes.
So at his school, at this school, and I love, and I'm gonna say I love that daggone neighborhood academy school. Because this is the one thing that this school preaches to these young men, because they have to wear ties, they have to wear dress shirts, they have to wear blazers. They give them these packs, and it has everything they need, everything that they need. So it's teaching them, like, listen, when you go from the gym, you go take a shower. They got towels, they got washcloths, they got everything they need to go there and make sure that they're clean, so that they go back to class and they don't reek up the whole class. But it's just a constant thing. It's just telling them, like, dude, you want to be around these girls. Like, you look cute, but in order to look cute, you gotta smell cute.
Yes.
Like, you got to do certain things now.
You be like,
Yeah.
moms, because I have, my classroom's boy heavy this year.
You need a hug, boo.
My classroom's boy heavy this year, but I have 2 students, they're 6 years old, okay? And my one student comes in with a bow tie, some hard bottoms, his socks, and smelling all good every day. I be like, wait, how old are you, little boy?
And that's how simple.
How old are you?
Yes.
And she came,
with the bow tie.
his mom came to the open house and she was like, that's my baby. I said, so do you dress him? No, he dresses himself. He gets in the shower, he puts his cologne on, he does this and he does that. I said, oh. Well, all right.
Right. Yes.
All right. All right.
High five, Mom.
So yeah, I was like, listen, good job. I applauded her right there in the room.
Right.
I said,
Yes. High five, Mom.
And
Before
he's
then.
the sweetest little boy. He comes in and hugs me. How Miss Does? I love you. I'm like, I love you too, baby. Thank you so much. Like, but you got a lot of cologne on today.
Wait, can you smell me?
He went through
Oh
a
my
period.
God, I didn't know you from the
He was wearing
bathroom.
like 3 or 4 pairs of underwear at the
Oh,
same time.
no.
And his reasoning was because, well, when one of your friends pulled one off. I said, but the dirty one, but the dirty one is against your body. So what you're really doing is just ejecting.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
This whole thing, 'cause I was live streaming. We were having a conversation. I took you to a bathroom. I'm talking. I'm like, I said,
Yeah.
son, why do you have on so many pairs of underwear? And I was like, well, because.
You
So
know,
it's just
boys are
so
different.
when they get dirty,
Yes.
just pull one off, and I still got on a clean pair.
That is hysterical.
So I'm happy that you guys have boys. I don't mean to cut the subject short, but I want to get into something. This one is a little bit, it might get a little serious on this one.
Okay.
Because you guys have boys. I have girls and I teach them certain things, but what do you teach your children about police and their attitudes, to your children's attitudes? Because let's face it, teenagers, kids, they go through it. Even little ones have little attitudes sometimes. What do you school your children on regarding the police? Like, how do you talk to them about that?
Humble your tongue. And when you say that, Officer Joe could come to you and say, I caught you spray painting in the park. But caught you spray painting in the park, and that's a ticket citation. And then my son could look at him and say, well, I haven't been to a park in 6 years, so it wasn't me. Even if you know, leave it alone. Let him say whatever he wants to say, let him do whatever he want to do. We'll come back. Like, my boys are younger. My boys are just about to hit the teenage phase. We'll be out there. But my thing is, let Officer Joe be wrong. Let him write you a citation or whatever. I'd rather you come home with a piece of paper and I got to go to court and fight this piece of paper than you not come home at all.
Right.
So I humble your tone. You know they wrong, whatever the case may be. Okay, Officer Joe, you did. All right.
Right.
And know what you're supposed to know. So a lot of times, like I remember when I was younger, I had an altercation with the police. And me, I was a smart mouth. Where you live? In a house. Where's your house? On the street. Where's the street? In Bell Silver. Like, that could have got me killed back then.
Right.
So, I mean, luckily that police officer just put handcuffs on me and took me to my dad. My dad kicked my behind leg. But if my sons would have done something like that nowadays, they're too freely out here shooting kids. And I'd rather you come home and you pissed off and hand me a piece of paper saying, hey, Mom, we got to go to court. All right, we'll deal with it in court. Then you not come home and somebody comes, Johnny from next door comes running, oh, you know, RJ around, they got shot or they got a body there. I don't want to have to go through that with my children. So humble your tongue. Say what they let them say what they want to say. Be patient. They ask you your name. Give them your full name. Correct answers. Correct it. Where you live. 123 ABC Street. Whatever the case. So you can come home to me. That's my biggest thing. Just humble your tongue.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, I mean, like you said, my son is 13 right now, and he's very tall for his age. And, you know, both of my children have always looked older than what they are. And with this one, I'm more scared. My kids are 20 years apart evenly. So the conversations that I've had to have with both of them are kind of the same, but they're very different because of all the things that are happening now with all these black males. And my thing with the 13-year-old, do not run. You let them say what you're gonna say, but your next thing is call my mom.
Yeah, that's my biggest call, my mom.
You give them my number, you give them your dad's number, or you give them your aunt's number, but you do not say nothing and let them talk and just keep saying, please call my mom. Please call my dad, please call somebody, I'm not allowed to talk to you anymore, please call this and call that, but whatever you do not run. Do not run. And as scary as that is to tell your children not to do at this point, like you said, you want your children to come home and, you know, the police are gonna do whatever it is that they do, but, you know, right now, that's the one thing that I will say is just let them say, control your mouth, control your attitude, let them say what they're gonna say. The next thing out of your mouth is, okay, Mr. Officer, call my mom.
Yep.
I have an interesting perspective in how I talk to my children because I was a law enforcement officer for 7 years. So my older kids had the pleasure of mom being an officer, so we would have talks, you know, candidly about the things I experienced and dealt with from my perspective, and then how I wanted them to be from the other perspective. And so I have a son who's very dark, very tall, and whose name is Shaka. So I understood when I named my son Shaka that he was going to face some adversity just because his name, first of all, is Shaka. So Shaka constantly, and my son is different. Different in a sense that he's very introverted. So first, because but one thing I always pour into them is the same thing, call my mom. I'm a minor, I'm under 18, I don't have any ID, call my mom. And you know, in my pajamas, barefoot, I'm on my way. It's not even a matter of, I'm upset, but here I come. I had that, I just had a felony traffic stop with my son, leaving home, going to my dad's house. And there was a cop car following us the whole way. Every turn, every twist, every windy bend, this cop car is following us. So when it's time to merge on the 22, because I came up from out of like Turtle Creek, and then to get on the 22, my dad lived down this little dead-end street. And I speed up to merge on to get over to turn down his little dead-end street. Everything lights up like a Christmas tree. So my right brain knows that I should have just made him follow me down to my dad's house. But my left brain was like, well, what we ain't did that? What you followed us this far, what could you possibly want? So I stopped at the top of the street, just called down the hill, like, hey, I just want to let you know, it's top of the hill, I pulled over, I don't know why. Next thing I know, turn the car off, get the keys out, do this, do that. Now I want to restart the car. Because why? And when he gets to the car, he's interested in my oldest son. No,
Right, I'm here. I'm the mother, I'm the guardian.
he's not talking to you.
At all.
How can I help you?
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to talk to,
No.
he is a minor. He doesn't have anything to say. I'm his mother. How can I help you? Well, there was a shooting. And you think, man, has something to do? Not going to show you he did not. Well, they said the guy had on an orange shirt. His shirt is red. And they weren't sure if it was a black car or a silver car.
That's to the spectrum.
When we look at the color scale,
Yeah.
those two cars don't even look alike, moving faster than the same car. So all he wanted to do was get to my son, and I'm like, no. Absolutely, but we need to pull everybody out the car. And I got my babies in the car, my daughter in the car, somebody else's child. I really don't even know this little girl. She just popped up and we were leaving. I'm like, okay, well, you might as well ride too, because I'm not gonna leave you here. And I don't know where you came from. You know what I mean? And I'm responsible for somebody else's kid. And more are pulling up, and more are pulling up, and more are pulling up, and more are pulling up. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm stuck like this. He is a minor. Well, we want to talk. He needs to. We want to see his ID. Minor. No ID. Mother. Talk to me. Talk to me. He's not having, under no circumstances, is my son, but now you want, well, let's be friends, ma'am. Let's understand it from our side. If it was your kid that got shot.
Hold on, we got a commercial, cause the camera died. I was trying to get the dead battery in there, and the thing is acting retarded.
I see it, baby. Baby. This is She TV. She cry, she shine, she cry, she shine, she cry. This is She TV.
I mean, I'm like, what are you showing me, kid? Why are you showing me that? My cameras these are frick and frack. And they definitely act like frick and frack because, oh my goodness, I'll relax seriously right now. That sucks, monkey balls.
They are all lead and nickel free, and they all have stretchy band backs.
Yes.
Are we back?
One sec. We are back too.
Okay, so.
Sorry
And
about
now
that.
you want to try
Apologize
to
for
be
y'all.
my friend and say that I want to give you my son. Because if you're friendly to me now, you let my guard down and I'm just gonna hand you my child. I don't know. There's not enough candy, sugar, cake, ice cream, chicken wings on this earth you can offer me that will give me to give you my son. Well, if it was your child that was just son, I will hope you would do your job correctly and respect someone's rights in the process. The death of mine does not equal the assault of another. Not for me, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Right is right and wrong is wrong. You have a job and policy and procedure that you need to follow, and as I stated to you, sir, my son is a minor. And if you need some information about this child, I'm his mother. You can ask and speak to me. Well, what is his name? I told him I wish he would. And he's like,
My kids, my personal kids, have never had they've never been privy to an altercation until my oldest started working at McDonald's with a police officer. And there was an irate customer who came in, and I just happened to, I don't eat McDonald's. I was getting ice cream for the babies, and I just happened to be coming around the drive-thru, and this woman hurled a hamburger at my daughter's head through the drive-thru. Irate Caucasian woman called the cops and said my daughter threatened to kill her, but she was yelling over my car, not knowing I'm mom. I'm going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. Managers, oh, no, I got this. Call the cops. Call them right now. She's 16. At the time, she was 16. She's not talking to nobody. I'm talking to him. Cop came. Well, we need, no, because I was right there. I'm a witness. That's my daughter. She was threatening my child. I'm going to tell you what happened. So, we had to have a sit down, and unfortunately, we're related to a lot of people in this city, this great city, and Juan Rose is one of them, so we had to sit down and watch the hate she did, so. That opened a whole other dynamic of me talking to my kids about police. But it's sad that we have to have these talks with our kids about the police officers now.
But I felt like that was a great move because me and my son watched that too, and that was an open conversation for he and I as well. And I think it was more on their level that they can understand. And I think it helped the conversation for them to really understand what we are always constantly preaching to them about how to act, what to do in certain situations. So I will say that movie was awesome.
It was. We seemed like the buzzkill, the fun skill.
Well, unfortunately, guys, we're out of town, right? That's it. So, any last remarks that you guys want to say? Like,
I want to do it
shout out
again and again.
I want to say thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
See, I'm gonna get the last word now. See, I'm gonna let it go.
Well, I want to thank my castmates for watching tonight. Hi, everybody. And I do have my own web show. I'll post it. I ain't going to blow up my spot on here.
No, you can do that. Please do.
Okay. KBK. Okay, so the Facebook page is KBK Real Talk REEL. We go live every Saturday at noon. Unless we, tell y'all otherwise, but check us out sometimes. We go in on that show. A lot of people know about that. Yeah.
So just tell them we're going to go to a commercial and then K-Ba's going to say back.
After y'all done, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Also to Back to the Future, 378 Broadway Boulevard, Karen, PA 15140. We are up to 75 flavors of wings. 75 flavors of wings. I'm trying to get to 100 before the new year. 75 flavors of wings, 26 types of burgers, 15 types of fries. We have grilled hot dogs. We even have stuff for the vegans.
They got veggie burgers. I have one.
Burgers. I got a new one called the Yum Yum Veggie. We got veggie burgers. We got turkey burgers. You come see me. We got a whole lot of different. Come see me. Definitely 378 Broadway Boulevard.
Well, I can't even top that. I'm just glad to be here. Guys, you know what I mean? I'm just glad to be here. But everybody knows I'm a kid's mom, so I'm always out and about. I'm at the football games, I'm at the basketball games. I love the kids, I love the babies, and I love Pittsburgh. So
you're also an event coordinator whenever you feel like being one.
yes, I have Still Minds Entertainment, so that's in the works. It's coming back up, so stay tuned.
Yes.
Well, we're getting ready to go to a commercial, and when we come back, K-Bay.
The editorial.
They are all lead and nickel free, and they all have stretchy band backs.
Watch. Because I'm up. Hi. It is me. I am live. First of all, thank you everybody for watching on Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, grindcity.biz, and the Grind City TV app, downloadable for free on Google Play. My ladies over there, thank you so much. We got to give a shout out to my sister whenever she's in the back. You don't see her, but Dee's Dips is in the building, and we hold her up because she definitely trying to get to some Steeler game somewhere so they can come 0-4. My man E. Barnes is back there. His wife definitely introduced their food spot. This show was awesome for so many reasons, but the main one is that our mothers got to say what we really feel. So give it a chance. Watch it again. Share it. Talk with these topics with your children if you aren't already. If you have new topics that you'd like us to address at some point, or if you'd like to be a part of this show or any other show that I do, please contact me at grindcity.biz. This has been Grind City Media Live Broadcast Studio presents She TV P.M.S. Pittsburgh Mothers Speak, and they were dope! We'll see you on the flip side, man. Check us out, grindcity.biz. Biz. Y'all know I'm pressing the button over here so I can get to the commercial. Did I get the right commercial? Because if I don't put on the right commercial, then I'm out of here. Peace. Grind City, baby.
grind, spin it, baby.